everyone, today we're talking about the Crown Court and the criminal procedure. Most criminal matters are judged in magistrate courts. Those that are tried on indictment come before the Crown Court. Unlike the magistrate courts, which is a court of first instance, the Crown Court is one of the superior courts of England and Wales. The Crown Court has dual jurisdiction, that is meant that it has both original jurisdiction and appellate jurisdiction. So firstly is a trial court and tries cases for the first time, and secondly it's an appellate court and its appeals come from the magistrate courts. Unlike the magistrate courts, the Crown Court is a single entity, sits in 77 court centres across England and Wales. It deals with serious criminal cases, which include cases sent for trial by magistrate courts because the offences are indictable only, headway offences, which can be heard in magistrate courts, but can also be sent to the Crown Court if the defendant chooses a jury trial, and appeals against decision of magistrate courts. And what about the offences tried in the Crown Court? The offences tried in the Crown Court are divided in three classes of seriousness. The class 1 includes offences that are the most serious, like treason, murder, and they are generally heard by a night court judge. The class 2 offences that include manslaughter and rape can usually be heard by high court judges, but also sometimes by a circuit judge or a recorder. And the class 3 cases can be heard by any judge eligible to sit in the Crown Court, and include offences like conspiracy, either-way offences, or robbery. On a first appearance in court, the defendant will be read the indictment, that is a list of the offences he's been charged with, and asking to enter a plea. It's only if the plea is not guilty that a date would be set for the trial. In the Crown Court trial, the trials are heard by a judge, but also by a jury that is always present in the Crown Court, and the members of the jury are selected at random from the electoral roll.
The defendant is present during the trial. It is at the judge's discretion whether or not there is a public gallery. After the jury is sworn in on oath, the judge informed them that they have to decide if the evidences they are going to hear prove the defendant's guilt. Then the case for the prosecution can be put. That means the prosecution presents their evidences and witnesses. This is the prosecution's responsibility to prove beyond any reasonable doubt. Then the defense may cross-examine and challenge the prosecution evidences. After that, the defense will present their case and evidences. The prosecution now have their chance to challenge and cross-examine. The case for the prosecution and the case for the defense are followed by the closing speeches. Firstly, the prosecution and then the defense give a summary of their respective case. The presiding judge sums up the evidences and for the juries and provides any necessary direction of matter of law. Afterward, the members of the jury retire to consider their verdict. If the verdict is guilty, the judge passes sentence, which may be immediate or after an adjournment. If the verdict is not guilty, the defendant is discharged and no conviction will be recorded against his name. Now I will introduce element of comparison. In Scotland, there are 4 courts which can hear criminal cases. The first one is the High Courts, which hears the most serious cases. The second one is the Sheriff Court, which hears all other criminal cases. The third one is the Stipendiary Magistrates Courts, which can sentence an accused for 1 year in prison. And the last one is the Justice of Peace, which hear minors summary cases and can sentence an accused for 6 days in prison. It's the prosecutor fiscal who decides which court the case will be heard in. In France, a debate appeared recently concerning filming and diffusing trials. For the first time in 2020, TV cameras are to be allowed to film the Crown Courts in England and Wales. However, trials will not televised as they are in US. Only the judge will be filmed. It marks a radical change and a significant extension to the operation of open justice.